Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about this image of William Miller that I took in LA just a few weeks ago. William flew in from Ireland and I got a chance to work with him while I was there. I picked this image because it's a combination of strobe lighting and natural lighting. So this is a one flash but three light sources image. The three light sources are one on the left. There is a large window on my left. So coming from this direction, there's a large window, but it's positioned approximately 10-15 feet away from the model. And then there is a small window on my right that is located roughly a foot away from the model. And the light on the wall is actually coming from my flash. So this is the three light sources, and the black and white is the final image. So this is, you're looking at the final image. I also saved the final color version just to give you a frame of reference, and I can show you the original raw file straight from the camera just to show you how much was done as far as post-processing is concerned. And the answer is not really that much. Really, I just smooth the skin a little bit, help to get rid of the under eye circles a little bit. Will was, as I mentioned, he just flew in from Ireland, so he had, he was operating on 2 hours of sleep and during our shoot, but he was absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend him enough. Just a really professional model, a really down-to-earth guy. So and also this hot light, this reflection of the window that's coming from the right, I also got rid of that in post right here. So because I just thought it's a little bit distracting. I didn't want it to be like this bright hot spot on there, so you don't see it in the final version, but it still really has the natural, it's still, I didn't completely darken it or anything like that, just kind of remove the specularity, basically. That's as far as the retouching is concerned. So I'm usually pretty light, and there is no reason there was no reason for me to change anything here. So as far as the settings are concerned, so I'm shooting this on Mark III. I'm shooting it with my 51.2 lens. The reason being is that because actually the spot in the house is really dark where I was shooting. I found the spot where I really like how there was those two natural light sources from two windows were coming in. But it was pretty dark spot. As I said, the bright light source was 10-15 feet away, so it was not that powerful. So I was shooting at 1.2, and I was shooting at ISO 400. So I'm shooting wide open with high ISO. I set the shutter speed at 1/250th of a second, partially because I'm really close, and so my depth of field is very shallow, and I'm shooting a lot of frames just to make sure, that I get at least 50% of my shots would be hopefully in focus, specifically in a precise focus on the eye. And because of that, there is a little bit of the camera shake, obviously, and so to eliminate that, I wanted to shoot at slightly higher speed than I could have gotten away with, probably. So shooting 1/250th of a second. Now the flash I was using it's Yongnuo. I was shooting it at the lowest possible setting because, as you can imagine, at wide open at 400 ISO, the speed light blasting onto the wooden wall is really bright. I didn't want to lose all the texture completely, so I didn't want to be this insane wide, spot, etc. I wanted to have a little bit of the texture of the wall, so a little bit of that gray area. So I'm shooting at the lowest possible setting. I believe it is 1/128th of the full power, and that's still not enough. So what I'm doing is basically I have a bunch of little ND filters. Little ND filter gels specifically that I cut for a shape of the Yongnuo flash, and I just put, I believe, two just regular ND filters, and that was enough to tone it down. Now the shape of the light is because I'm using a snoot. Now to address that right away, I do not ever use I do not ever use commercially purchased snoots, and I make my own. I make my own out of Cinefoil. If you do not know what Cinefoil is, just try to Google it. It's Cinefoil, C-I-N-E foil. It's basically aluminum foil, but is a little bit stronger than the kitchen stuff, and also black. and you can basically make, but it comes in rolls, just like the aluminum foil that we have in the kitchens. So it's, you can mold it in any shape you want. And in this particular case, I really, so you can see how I made a little bit of a kind of like a real weird shape out of it, because I didn't want to have a perfect circle. I didn't want, I wanted to be just kind of natural looking shape, that it would not look like too forced and too studio-like. And it's very easy to achieve with cinefoil. And then I just tape it to my flash, you know, so I make like this tube out of cinefoil and tape it to my flash with a little bit of gaffer tape, and it stays there. So here we go. That's the 3 light source, 1 flash, light setup. And so once again, it's just like, it's really not very expensive equipment, other than the lens, which is, I understand, is rather expensive lens. But technically, I mean, it was, you know, in a slightly different circumstances, you could have gotten away with an absolute, you know, kit lens or 51.8, you know, just up the ISO to, you know, ISO 800, 1000, and 51.8 would have done pretty much the same job. So don't let lack of equipment stop you. So you could have taken this image with a $100 lens and a $120 flash, and you know, that's pretty much all you need, and some windows in a house with a wall behind it. So here we go. Hopefully you like the image, and hopefully you like my explanation. But if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below. All right, thank you.